Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast. We cover everything Major League, from spring training to the World Series. We've got your favorite club covered, from New York to Boston to LA. This is the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast.
What is up? Welcome to the GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Friday today here. As we just finished up a pretty interesting week in baseball, we're trying to figure things out as every week goes by, we're going to have a little bit better picture on what's happening as far as playoffs go, as we are only at about 6 weeks left until we get our teams locked in. There are some elimination numbers that will be dwindling down here at the end of the month, especially in the East. With the Baltimore Orioles are 45.5 games back. Oh man, it's not as bad in the National League, because the National League is definitely a little more, we'll just say a little more even keel versus the top heavy American League, which we've been preaching seemingly for the last month here on this show, because that's just the way this league is looking right now. The Yankees are on pace to win 100 games, and they're 8 games back. The Red Sox obviously on pace for breaking the Mariners' record of 113 games in one season. So if they're going to do that, they're going to need to keep winning. They have been. The thing is, they'll keep winning. They're 8-2 in the last 10, and they have kept pace, even though the Red Sox. Even though the Yankees have won 4 in a row, actually, the Red Sox have kept their 8-game lead. It was 9.5, but obviously, Red Sox lost yesterday, and then they did have an off day in there with the Yankees winning and gaining a half game during that off day. But yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays are a game over 500. They're 58-57. They're 22.5 games back. 22.5. They're a game over 500. The Giants, on the other hand, are 2 games under, and they're 7 games back in their division. Nationals are 5.5 games back. They're 3 games over. And the Milwaukee Brewers are, they're actually 14 games over. They're 2 back of the Cubs right now. They're the same. Actually, they're even on the win column, with 4 games in the loss column, because the Cubs have played 4 less games than the Brewers have. They'll make them up, obviously, throughout the rest of the year. Honestly, who do you think that favors? I think that kind of favors the Brewers, honestly, because the Cubs having more games to play in this stretch run might come in back to bite them. Obviously, not their fault. It's the rain and the weather's fault from the beginning of the year, but it is what it is. We're in August now, and I titled the last show "Dog Days" because it's the dog days of August. This can be the same thing. It's hot out there. It's people are dragging. Pitchers are getting close to 150 innings on the year, or 120 at least on the year, and some people actually close to 150. As you look at these stats here for the pitching, is there inning pitched? Yeah, Max Scherzer's on 160 already. Kluber's at 161. Scherzer's at 161 and 2/3. Yeah, so we're around. Most guys are around 150, 160 right now, and that's kind of getting to the point where you're going to start I'm not saying everybody's going to start being bad, but you just get tired and things can wear on you here and there. Look at that. Jacob deGrom has a 1.77 ERA, and he's got like 5 wins. League leaders in wins. Scherzer has 15, Severino 15, Kluber has 14, Porcello 14, Carrasco 13. So you go. And that's it. Nationals, Scherzer, Nationals, I don't think the Nationals are doing anything this year, but the Yankees, Indians, Red Sox, Indians. That's how you win. There's Charlie Morton with the Astros, but they have just so much talent in that rotation. It's ridiculous. All right, let's go to the game scores from Wednesday, as we'll start in New York. The Mets and the Reds played on Wednesday, as the Mets get the win 8-0. Jacob deGrom got the run support he needed as he gets his 6th win of the year, lowers that ERA down to 1.77, like I just said. And he went 6 shutout innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts on the day for deGrom. like I said, the Mets bats came to play. They didn't hit any home runs, but Austin Jackson hit 2 doubles. He must just be he must just like playing in New York more than he did in turns to go. 2 more doubles for Austin Jackson. Brendan Nimmo actually hit 3 doubles in this game. He went 3 for 5 with 3 RBIs and 3 runs scored. 3 doubles for Brendan Nimmo. That's a good one for him, as the Mets get the win 10-0 against the Reds at home. Rangers beat the Mariners 11-7 in Texas, as Giovanni Gallardo gets his 7th win of the year. He's 7-1 now with a 6.11 ERA. That's just either he's getting off the hook, I guess, at the end of these games more often than not. But the Mariners, like I said, they didn't really they didn't really do much until late in this game. They scored 4 in the top of the 7th inning, but the Rangers actually came right back and scored 4 more. So it was 7-6, and then the Rangers made it 11-6 before the Mariners scored 1 in the 9th to make it 11-7, and that was the final. The home runs in this game came from Joey Gallo. He hit 2 of them, his 30th and his 31st of the season. The Mariners got a home run from Mike Zunino, actually 2 as well, his 15th and his 16th of the season, and that was it regarding the long balls in that one over in Texas. To Colorado we go, as the Pirates actually beat the Rockies 4-3 in Colorado, as Chris Archer gets a win. I believe it's his first win as a Rocky. He's now 4-5 on the year as he went. Sorry, as a Pirate, not a Rocky. As a Pirate, he's went 5 innings, 2 runs allowed, 5 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a homer allowed. That was to David Dahl, his 5th of the season. The Pirates did not hit a home run in this game, but they got the win as they scored a run in the top of the 8th to make it 4-2. The Rockies tried to come back, put the run in the bottom half, but that's all they could get and make it 4-3, and that was the final score. Dbacks shut out the Phillies 6-0 behind Patrick Corbin, as he was excellent in this one. He goes 7 1/3 shutout innings, 4 hits, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Wow, what a performance by Corbin, as he throws 103 pitches in that 7 1/3 innings of work before the bullpen comes in and takes care of the rest. Home runs in this game, again, non-existent, as the D-backs were able to score on a triple, a sacrifice fly, a double play, and another double. And that was it, as that was how they made it 6-0, and that was the final score. All right. Angels, they also beat the Tigers 6-0, very same score as the previous game. Jaime Badia was excellent in this one, as he went 5 2/3 shutout innings, 5 hits allowed, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for Badia. As the home runs for the Angels came from Cole Calhoun, his 15th, Justin Upton hit his 23rd, and Albert Pujols hit his 18th of the season for Los Angeles, as they get the 6-0 win. And they're now 58-58 on the year. The Angels back to 500. The Braves beat the Nationals 8-3 on Wednesday, as Michael Fultonevich was pretty good in this one. Home runs for the Nationals came from Bryce Harper. That was the only real blemish for Fultonevich. 28th home run of the year for Harper, as Fultonevich just gave up that 1 earned run, 3 total on 6 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. The homer to Harper, as he gets his 9th win of the season. Home runs for the Braves came from Charlie Culberson, his 8th of the year, a 3-run shot. Tyler Flowers hit his 5th, and Ronald Acuna Jr. hit his 12th of the season for the Braves, as they win 8-3 in D.C. The Red Sox beat the Blue Jays 10-5 again in different fashion this way. This time they actually got a lead and held on to it the whole time, pretty much, as they were up 7-0 before the Blue Jays tried to come back, but then the Red Sox added more on, of course, as their starter was Brian Johnson. He gave up 5 runs over 7 innings of work, but got the win as his bats came to play as well. Rafael Devers hit his 16th of the year, 2-run shot for the Red Sox. The Blue Jays got a home run from Teoscar Hernandez, his 17th, and Randall Grichuk, his 15th of the season for Toronto, as they lose 10-5. Rays, they lose at home to the Orioles 5-4, so the Orioles get another win, their 35th win of the year, as they get a 5-4 victory. They score 2 runs in the top of the 9th inning. They almost lost that game, it looks like, as they scored 1 to tie and 1 to win. They're in the top of the 9th inning. Trey Mancini double knocked in both those runs. Actually, was with nobody out, so they weren't really that close from losing, but they were an inning away. But they got the runs they needed and got the win there, as they scored on Sergio Romo He gave up those 2 runs on 3 hits. Home runs in this game came from Tim Beckham, his 16th of the year for the Orioles. Adam Jones added his 12th, and Mark Trumbo added his 16th of the season. No homers for the Rays, as they were able to cross their runs in different ways, but they lost as the bullpen was not able to hold on at the end there. Indians beat the Twins 5-4 in Cleveland, as this was decided late in the game, as the reliever for the Indians, Cody Allen, blew the save in the bottom of the 9th inning, but they got the win as the Indians win in walk-off fashion with 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning on a home run by Francisco Lindor, his 29th of the season. A 3-run shot, as you said, they were up 2-1. The Twins scored a run in the bottom of the 9th on a Miguel Sano homer. Remember, Miguel Sano got sent all the way down to single A or double A. One of those. He got sent down, I think, to single A. And then he comes back, hits a home run against the I think he's been back for a little bit now, but he hit a home run to tie the game in the bottom of the 9th, or top of the 9th. But then the Indians were able to get a homer from Lindor to win that one in the bottom half of the inning. The starter for the Indians was Mike Clevenger. He went 7 innings of 1-run ball, 5 hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts for him, as he gets no decision, like I said. And but his team wins 5-2. Cardinals beat the Marlins 7-1 in Miami. John Gant gets his that's his 4th win of the season now, as he beats Trevor Richards. Richards actually also pitched pretty good, but the runs came late in the game for the Cardinals. Scored 2 in the 6th, 2 more in the 8th, and 2 more in the 9th. They scored a single run in the very first inning, but the Marlins did not hit a home run. Richards gave up 3 runs over 5 2/3 of work as he takes the loss. Cardinals got a home run from Yadier Molina, his 15th, and Matt Carpenter, shocker, as he is continuing to just hit the cover off the ball. His 31st homer of the season, as he is just all of a sudden heated up like a banshee these last few weeks. His 31st of the year, as John Gant was very good. 6 innings of 1-run ball, 2 hits, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts for him. He gets his 4th win of the year, as the Cardinals get the win there, 7-1. Yankees beat the White Sox 7-3. Pedro Severino, I keep saying Pedro Severino. He's the catcher for the Nationals. Luis Severino for the Yankees gets his 15th win of the season, as he was pretty good in this one. Goes 7 innings, allows 3 runs on 7 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. Did give up a homer to that was to Anderson, the shortstop for, is that Tim Anderson? The shortstop for the White Sox, as he hit his 15th homer of the season for Chicago. Then the Yankees, they got a home run from Giancarlo Stanton, his 22nd. That was a grand slam. Sorry, 27th of the year. 27th of the year for Stanton is a grand slam. And Aaron Hicks added his 19th of the season off Giolito there, as they get the win in the South Side. Brewers beat the Padres 8-4, as Ulysses Chacin was good in this one. Gets his 11th win of the season. Was good at the beginning of the game. Got a little roughed up there in the middle, but was able to come out and still get the win, as the bullpen took care of the rest for the Brewers. Chacin went 6 innings, allowed 3 runs on 6 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, a homer allowed. That home run was to Hunter Renfroe, his 11th of the season. The Brewers got a home run from Jesus Aguilar, his 28th. That was a 3-run shot. Travis Shaw added a one, his 23rd, and Eric Thames, his 16th, and Rolando Arcia, his 3rd, and Christian Yelich, his 18th. As they said, the Brewers used a home run derby action there, as he hit 5 homers and got the win there at home. Royals shut out the Cubs 9-0 in Kansas City, as the young pitcher there for the Cubs was Phil Meyer. I'm trying to get his. I just said his first name here, as it was Heath Philmeyer gets the win there, as he was excellent in this one, as he goes 7 shutout innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts for the Royals, the young right-hander. The home run in this one for the Royals came from their shortstop. That is Alberto Mondesi. That's his 4th of the season, as the Royals get a big win at home against the Cubs, and 9-0 was the win. Phil Meyer, good start for him. And the final game of Wednesday was the A's and the Dodgers. The A's win 3-2 behind a run in the bottom of the 8th inning to win that game as they scored on a fielder's choice error. It was actually a ground ball to third that was thrown home by Manny Machado, and Yasmani Grandal could not hold on to the ball, and the run was able to score after the Dodgers were able to tie up that game in the 7th inning. Pitching lines for this one: Mike Fiers was a starter for the A's. He actually was perfect through 4. Ended up giving up a run through 5 1/3 innings. Pitched 4 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts for him. Gave up a home run, and that was to Grandal himself. The one run he gave up was Grandal. And then the starter for the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw, went 6 innings, 2 runs allowed, 6 hits, no walks, a strikeout, as he gets a no decision because the game was tied, and he was off the hook there. Like I said, Grandal, that was his 20th of the year for him. The A's did not hit a homer, but they get the win against the Dodgers in Oakland. All right, we'll come back after the break, and we'll cover the games from Thursday, and then we'll come in and get into some talk on the NL West race, NL East race, the AL West, everything, as we're going to be going into it, as well as the Yankees, and see what their outlook for the stretch run is going to be, if they're going to go for this division or if they're going to sit in the wild card and kind of just let things happen as they may. All right, we'll come back for the break. Stay tuned.
This is your ultimate stop for everything sports. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Should I say more? From the NFL, MLB, the NBA to MMA, it's all in here. The Golden State Media Concepts Sports Podcast. Listen now.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Friday, as we're going to go to Thursday now and give you the games from Thursday. As we'll start off in San Francisco, the Giants and the Pirates started off a 4-game series as the Pirates get the best of the Giants. 10-5 was the final in this one, as the Pirates really made it 10-2. The Giants tried to score some runs in the bottom of the 9th and make it 10-5, but the big blow was a home run by David Freese, a 3-run shot, his 9th of the year. The Pirates also added home runs by Josh Bell, his 7th, and Elias Diaz, his 8th of the season, as they get the win there by a final of 10-5. The starter for the Pirates was Vaughn Nova. He went 6 innings, allowed 2 runs on 3 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. He was pretty good in this one. The Giants did not get a home run. Just a couple doubles and a triple to knock in those runs. All right, Nationals and Braves. Nationals win again, or actually not again, but they win to win the final game of the series. 6-3 was the final here as Gio Gonzalez gets his 7th win of the season. They scored the Nationals actually scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 8th to make it 6-1 before the or make it 6-2. And then the Braves tried to come back a little bit, but they were held just a short in the bottom of the 9th there. I'll give you Gio's line here. Gio Gonzalez went 7 innings, allowed 1 run on 6 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, a homer allowed. That was to Nick Markakis. That was his 14th of the season. Ronald Acuna Jr. added his 13th of the year off the bullpen there in the 8th inning. The Nationals got a home run from Michael A. Taylor, his 6th of the season for the Nationals, as they get the win there at home. Twins again, and the Indians. The Indians again walk off on the Twins as they win 5-4 in the bottom of the 9th inning. They get a run there to win. It was on a Michael Brantley single to knock in that run and get the 5-4 victory. Home runs in this game came from Yonder Alonso, his 20th of the season for the Indians, and then for the Twins, Jorge Polanco hit his first home run of the year. I'm making sure to see if that's the first home run of his career. Impossible. No, that's not his first career, but that's his first of the year this year, as he gets one off of that was off of Kluber, a 3-run shot actually there in the 6th inning that kind of made him a little bit, actually tied the game, made it 4-4, and then of course the 9th inning was the end right there. This is a good matchup. Jose Barrios was the starter for the Twins, but he only lasted 4 innings, gave up 4 runs on 4 hits, 6 walks is the problem. 5 strikeouts, a homer allowed to Alonso. And then for Kluber, he gets no decision because of the game being tied. 7 innings, 4 runs, 7 hits, no walks, 7 strikeouts. The big blow was the home run by Polanco that cost him getting the win in that one. Padres beat the Brewers 8-4 in Milwaukee as they scored 6 runs in the top of the 9th inning. They were down 4-2. They scored 6 in the top of the 9th off of the Brewers bullpen there. Knebel gave up 4 of the runs. Soria gave up 1, and so did Barnes there in that inning. That's how they pieced together that 9th inning, I guess, to get that last out, but that's all they could do. Home runs to the Padres came from Freddie Galvis, his 7th, and Hunter Renfroe, his 12th, and Fermil Reyes, his 9th of the year. Reyes, that was the big one. Actually, they hit 2 in the 9th inning. Renfroe was the grand slam in the 9th inning. That'll do it for you. And then Reyes, a solo shot after that. So, wow, that's a pretty good little back-to-back. I'm not sure if it was back-to-back or... Yeah, back-to-back jacks right there to make it 6, to get the 6 runs. Dang, so they get a run to make it 5-4 on a Travis Gronkowski single. A grand slam comes, and then another home run just for a good measure to make it 8-4. All right, good job but good game for the Padres there, as a good win for them. As Robbie Erling gave up 2 earned runs, 4 total over 5 innings of work, 7 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts for him. The Brewers. Junior Guerra was pretty good. 6 innings, 2 runs allowed, 8 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Just that homer earlier in the game to Galvis, but that was it, as the bullpen was not able to hold on there in the bottom of the 9th. The Yankees beat the Rangers 7-3 as they start a series of 4-gamer in New York against the Rangers, as Jay Happ gets the win against Texas there for his new team. Aaron Hicks hit his 20th of the season. Miguel Andujar, his 16th of the year. Neil Walker, his 5th of the season for the Yankees. He actually had 2, his 5th and his 6th. And then Giancarlo Stanton added his 28th of the year for the Yankees. The Rangers got a home run from Jurickson Profar, his 13th of the season, as Jay Happ was pretty good. 6 innings pitched, 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. That home run to Profar was a big blow, but that's about it. Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Red Sox actually lose this one. Blue Jays win 8-5 as Borucki gets the win over Rick Porcello. Porcello in this one, I mean, that's the thing. The Red Sox have to be careful. Porcello has been kind of shaky this year. I know he's got 14 wins in the season, but he has had some up and down starts, and he's susceptible in hitters' ballparks. And the Blue Jays definitely have a hitter's ballpark. And the Blue Jays scored 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 in the third. So early in the game, Porcello can be definitely susceptible. He ended up giving up. What did he get charged for? 7 earned runs, 6 hits, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, couple homers. Also, a problem when that sinker does not get down. It gets up, and it's very hittable. Teoscar Hernandez, his 18th of the season. Randall Grichuk, his 16th of the season for the Blue Jays. The Red Sox got a home run from JD Martinez, his 35th, and Mookie Betts, his 27th. Those guys were trading back and forth. Martinez is kind of separated a little bit there from Mookie. 35 home runs for Martinez, 27 for Betts, as they get the home runs there. Ken Giles still in Toronto, but still not pitching that well. Now in Toronto, moved over after he got traded after he badmouthed AJ Hinch after he took him out of the game there in Houston. Then he got traded for Ozuna, Roberto Ozuna. It is what it is. All right. Rays beat the Orioles 5-4 in this one as they were able to hold on in the 9th inning. Sergio Romo gets his 14th save of the season. 14th save of the season for Sergio Romo. Home runs in this game for the Rays came from Ji-Man Choi, his 4th of the year. The Orioles got one from Nunez, his 2nd of the season. That's their young third baseman. Probably Renato Nunez hit his 2nd of the year for the Orioles. 5-4 victory for the Rays. Mariners beat the Astros. They needed this one badly, 8-6, as they needed to get some more wins during this series here, as the Astros have had some injuries come upon them, and it's kind of Astros light right now, with no Altuve, no Springer, no Correa, Nothing. None of those guys are playing right now. Bregman's playing shortstop. They had Yuli Gurriel playing second base, and then he went over to third before Marwin Gonzalez moved over to second. But yeah, so those top three guys are out of the lineup right now. The Mariners are going to take advantage of that for sure. Home runs for the Astros came from Tyler White. Ugh. Yeah, I'm not happy with Tyler White right now. And then for the Mariners, Gene Segura hit his 9th of the year, Mitch Haniger his 18th, and Zenard Span his 9th. All of those were off Justin Verlander, as he got knocked around a little bit. White, that was his 5th home run of the year, sorry. As Verlander only lasted 2 innings of work, 6 runs allowed, 7 hits, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Those 3 home runs were the big things against him, as the Astros were not able to hold the bats quiet there for the Mariners. Mariners taking advantage of some cupcake pitches or something, I guess, from Verlander, as they were hitting him pretty hard. All right. Moving on to the last game of Thursday was the Dodgers and the Rockies. Dodgers get the win 8-5 as they scored 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th, and 3 in the 9th. So they were trailing 1-0 for, well, actually it was they're up 1-0, then it was 1-1, and then there was 3-1. And the Rockies made it 5-3. Actually, Rockies scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 7th to make it 5-3. Dodgers came right back, scored 2 to tie and 3 to go ahead in the 9th and win. As that Coors Field comes back to bite you sometimes. As like I said, the bullpen there, Wade Davis giving up 3 of those runs in the 8th inning or in the 9th inning there, not good. As the game was a tie game. I mean, a tie game, if you're a Rockies pitcher and you're pitching in a tie game in the top of the 9th, you are just trying to get to the bottom half because you're literally a fly ball that carries on out of there away from winning that game, but couldn't do it. Home runs in this one came from Chris Iannetta, his 8th of the year for the Rockies. The Dodgers got a bunch. Jock Peterson, his 18th. Max Muncy, his 25th. Cody Bellinger, his 19th. Chris Taylor, his 13th. And Brian Dozier hit his 3rd home run as a Dodger. Shocker. His 19th of the season. All right. That'll wrap it up for the game coverage. We'll roll right into some talking. The Dodgers. I have to be impartial. They have to give them credit. They made moves. They went and got Machado. They went and got Brian Dozier. Brian Dozier actually has more home runs than Machado. I think Machado has 1 as a Dodger. Dozier has 3 already. Hit 2 in his first 2 games. And he might have more, actually. As the Dodgers actually hit 2. They had 2 pinch hit home runs in this game. As Muncy's was a pinch hit homer, and Jock Peterson's was a pinch hit homer as well in this game. As wow, they had 3 pinch hits in this game, and all of them, 3 pinch hitters in this game. They all got hits. Peterson, Muncy, and Puig all got hits in this game coming off the bench. So I mean, watch out. Dave Roberts was not wrong. You're right. He's like, just wait. We'll be on top of the division. Obviously, right now they are tied for the first place spot in the National League West with the Arizona Diamondbacks, both exactly at 64 and 52 on the season. But I mean, if the Dodgers they can get their pitching rotation set up the way they want, they can find themselves right back where they were last year. The National League is way up for grabs. Way up for grabs. I know I talked about the Phillies last show on Wednesday and how much I like them and how much I want them to win. But I mean, it is just it's a way up for grabs. We're going to go through it in the next segment, especially talking about the National League and the National League West, especially as the Rockies have now lost 3 in a row and have fallen 3.5 back of the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks. I mean, it's going to come down to the stretch run. The Giants are 7 back. They've lost 3 in a row too, which means they're probably due to win 3 in a row, because that's what the Giants do every year, or I mean every week. But I mean, it is what it is with the Giants. I'm not going to get into that as my fanship gets in the way sometimes. But you know, I got 3 rings, baby. 3 rings. I'm not worried about it. So time for some other teams, just not the Dodgers, please. Well, they're sitting there right now. I mean, the American League is, like I said, is pretty much set in stone. The National League is wide open, wide open. You got. I mean, now actually it's been narrowed down a little bit with the Giants at 7 games back, but you have 4 teams in that wild card because the Dodgers right now it's set up that way because the Dodgers and Dbacks, Dbacks, and Braves are all right around 5.52, 5.54 their win percentage, so they're all kind of whoever jumps out on top of the American League, whoever jumps out on top of the National League West, the second place team will be tied with the Braves. I mean, assuming what happens today. for that second wild card, with the Brewers still holding on to that first wild card. So you can have any combination of teams make it. Literally any combination. You can have the Brewers win the Central, the Cubs come down and win the wild card, with the Braves as the number 2, and the Phillies win in the East, and then you only have one National League West team in there. I mean, you could have 2 National League West teams in there. You can have the Dodgers and or you could have the Dodgers and the Rockies in there eventually. Because we have so much time. Honestly, we have 50 games left to figure this all out, as these teams are coming down the stretch right now. I mean, I know that it's really in August. It's getting through August and getting to September where your rosters expand. I know it's not like, oh, all of a sudden you're going to get these star players. You're getting young players who are chomping at the bit to play and have earned the call up. So I mean, that's kind of what the goal is in August. Get through August at the best you can, and then get to September where you'll get some relief from the minor leagues. All right, that'll wrap it up for this segment. We'll come back after the break and do some talk, like I just was doing, on the NL West and the AL West, as well as how we think the Yankees are going to fare going through the rest of this bottom half of the season. Watch the Yankees fall out. I would not see them fall out, but right now in the American League wild card, they actually did extend their lead out. They have a 4.5 game lead on the A's in that first wild card. The A's are in the second wild card right now, with the Mariners sitting 2.5 back. The Angels are 10.5 back. The Rays 10 back. So got some work to do there, but yeah, that's tough. With the Mariners, they do have a chance. They got the win yesterday, much needed win. They need to win more, obviously, and take advantage of this Astros light team. But we'll talk about it on the other side, so stay tuned.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. Hey! The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Friday today here, as we're going to come back and do some talk on the NL West and the AL West, actually. So, I mean, the AL West is still there's still talk. 4.5 games is not big. It's not nothing. The A's, that's doable. I mean, with the games they have left against the Astros and such, so there is an ability to try and make a move there, and you can make a move to get into that division lead pretty easily because you have head-to-head games, and that's how it works. Head-to-head games, you get a sweep, you're half game back. I mean, if you go into it, obviously, but so you can try and take advantage. Maybe these guys, I don't know what the prognosis per se is on these Astros injured players. I know Springer just had his injury, so he could be back later. You could have Altuve back, I think, sooner rather than later, and then same thing with Correa. But so maybe, I mean, when they play the A's next, but I mean, it is going to come down to those head-to-head games. The A's have to take advantage of those. The Mariners need to take advantage of those right now too, because anything can happen. I mean, we've penciled in the Astros, penciled in the Red Sox, penciled in the Yankees, I think, and penciled in the Indians. The only two of those four teams that are really like you could really write with pen, go over that in pen, are the Red Sox and Indians. The Yankees are 4.5 games away from being out of the playoff position. Actually, no, they're actually 7 games out. 7 games away from being out of the playoff spot because they have the little second wild card. But they're also 4.5 away from not hosting the wild card game. A game in Oakland versus a game in Yankee Stadium. That's a big difference. It's a big difference from a lot of different aspects. Dimensions, quality of ballpark, flying across country, depending obviously where they end the season at. But the A's, they play, let's see. I want to see the Astros schedule here. The Astros coming up. So they play Seattle for a 4-gamer over the weekend. Then they go to at home. They have Colorado at home. Then they go. So we just talked about this, didn't we? That's right. We just looked at this. They have the A's, the Mariners, the Angels, then the A's, then the Angels again to the last 2 weeks of this month. So they get through this little series with the. It's not going to be easy because the Rockies aren't easy either. There's no real slouches. I mean, maybe the Angels, they'll take care of them a little better, but the Angels, they're a 500 team. They are. They've actually been playing better as of late. The Angels have. So you got to watch out for them too. The Astros, these injuries came at the wrong time. I think as regarding to their playoff position, maybe not. If they do make the playoffs, you probably be like, whatever. They got some good rest. It is what it is. They took some miles off the old tires in the middle of the season, but they need to win. They need to keep winning because the A's are hot on their heels. They're right there. And obviously there is the Mariners, and the idea of the Mariners do kind of fall off a little bit at the end of the season, but the Mariners got a big win yesterday. They play again, obviously, 3 more times over the weekend, so that's what really is going to matter. When we come back on Monday, we'll definitely be paying attention to that series, especially as the NL West is not. That means the AL West is one of the divisions that's actually still up for grabs, I think, in this in the American League. The National League, everybody is. And then the other 2 divisions in the American League, you have the Indians are 10 games up over the Twins right now, and then the 8-game lead for 11 games up on the Twins right now, as they just beat them twice in a walk-off fashion, back-to-back days. But then the Red Sox, obviously, with their 8-game lead over the Yankees, that seems pretty safe as well. So then going over to the Yankees. I continue to talk about it. They did get the win. They've won 4 in a row, which is good. They can do that. They're a streaky team against crappy teams. The White Sox, they should beat them. You should sweep them. And then looking at their schedule for the rest of the season as well, or at least the rest of this month, they're going to have a Subway Series coming up here. I think it looks like I thought I saw New York Mets on there. Maybe not. I saw at X. So they do have that. They started that Texas series. They swept the White Sox. They beat the Texas at home. They have a big homestand. Oh, they do have a game against the Mets. They have a makeup game against the Mets on what should have been an off day. It looks like on on Monday. This coming Monday, they'll have the Mets. So they have the Rangers for 4 at home, and the Mets for that 1 gamer. Then they have the Rays. The Rays have been tough on the Yankees, but just not at Yankee Stadium. They've been tough on them in Tampa Bay. Which they don't go back to until the end of the season. And that 4-game series at the end of the year for the Yankees is going to be huge. Probably, I think it's going to come down to that 4-gamer at the end of the year against the Rays, and then they end the year. I'm looking at it right now. So they have some easier schedule. There is some easier teams in here because they play in the National League. They play in the American League East. So you're going to have the Blue Jays and you're going to have the Orioles. But the Blue Jays, honestly, they beat the Red Sox last night. You play in Toronto, anything can happen in a small ballpark. They have the bats to hit home runs too. The Blue Jays do, but they just have the pitching. So you have the Rangers for 4, and then you have the Mets. They have the Rays for 3 at home, though, and then Toronto for 3 at home. So that should be all right. Then you go to Miami for a 2-gamer, and then you have 4 games against the Orioles because you have a doubleheader in Baltimore on a Saturday. So, and then you have the White Sox and the Tigers at home after that. So you should be able to take care and get some wins in that little stretch there. The last 2 weeks of August should be pretty fruitful for the Yankees, and because September is not. September is not. You get the A's, Mariners. The Twins are not the easiest team to beat in Minnesota. And then you come home for the Blue Jays and the Red Sox in the middle there, and the Orioles. So you do sandwich the Red Sox in between 2 little easier squads, and then you have that big series. I think it's going to come down to it, that Rays series in Tampa Bay, and then you go to Boston to finish off the season against the Red Sox. And the Red Sox probably will be playing the scrubs by then. I think you think the Red Sox would clinch the division by then, right? And then the wild card would basically be the only thing that the Yankees have to worry about. And the Yankees wild card game goes back to what I've been saying for the last month. You got Severino. You'll line it up for Severino in the wildcard game against the A's probably. And the A's will probably put out Manaea. And then whoever's leading after the fourth inning or fifth inning will probably win because they both have the best bullpen. I mean, we haven't seen it yet for the A's, though. The A's have yet to have an implosion in their own bullpen. It'll happen probably sometime, but it hasn't happened quite yet. The Yankees have had it. They had it last week against the Red Sox. So, we saw that happen firsthand with Aroldis Chapman. And then he also actually had a situation where he almost did the same thing the week before. I can't remember who was it against per se, but it was a situation where they got the bases loaded. And he was able to get out of it, but you can't mess around with that. Especially when you have an A's bullpen that doesn't mess around at all. I mean, they're lights out, locked down. All right, Yankees. Yeah, we'll find out what happens with them. I think they're sitting in that first wild card probably for the rest of the year, and they get to host the wild card game, and they're gonna have to face the A's probably. And if they get past the A's, then you go from there, and you probably have Tanaka start game 1 against the Red Sox, and you cross your fingers because I think a 5-game series against the Red Sox in the ALDS, Yankees Red Sox. 5-game series. 5-game series. Actually, that could work both ways because, number one, you only have 3 games to play with to win. You only need to win 3 games. You don't need to win a 4th game. You only need to win 3 games. But then again, you only have 2 to work with at all anyway. So you only have 3 to work with. So it goes both ways. You can because nobody's gonna. I don't think the Red Sox can be beaten 4 times in a 7-game series by the Yankees, but they could be beaten 3 times in a 5-game series. Maybe you never know. It's just one less game. So we'll have to wait and see. All right, in the National League West, that division is probably the most up for grabs division in the entire league, regardless of league. American League, National League, doesn't matter. Because you can kind of narrow down the NL Central to 2 teams, even though the Pirates still think that they're in it with all those moves they made during the trade deadline and the moves they made after even will really make you think that they're in it still. Which, I mean, you know what, that team has been interesting this whole year. It's been kind of up and down, back and forth. They had a good game yesterday in San Francisco, and they're 7 games back right now. So I mean, the Giants are also 7 games back, which is kind of funny. Yeah, the National League West is very much up for grabs. The Giants are 7 games back, 2 games under 500. I mean, that's what goes to show you right there. The Dodgers, they've kind of been getting hotter, I guess, over the last few weeks. Their bats are very temperamental. They'll score 21 runs in a game, and they'll score 3 runs over a weekend. I know it was against the Astros. Pitching staff is quite tough, but I mean, Giants scored 2 runs in 2 games. But yeah, it is what it is. And the National League West, I think you have 2 teams that have been really trying to push and become teams that you really take seriously, because the Diamondbacks and the Rockies have had histories of just kind of being really, really good at the beginning of the year and then just falling off in September and not doing anything, because whether you're in a small ball, a hitter's ballpark in the desert, or if you're in a hitter's ballpark mile high in the mountains. So you can kind of pick your poison there. With those 2 teams, I always compare those 2 teams. They're very similar, even though right now I think that the Rockies maybe have been pitching better altogether. The Dbacks have a better rotation collectively if they can stay healthy with Robbie Ray and Corbin and Greinke. And Zach Godley, honestly, they have a pretty good. If they can make the playoffs, watch out for the D-backs, because that rotation can go take them places, and their lineup isn't that bad either. They got a good little lineup, as they have been kind of battling it out with the Dodgers up on top of the division all year long. Well, at least all summer long, they were battling it out with somebody else earlier in the season, as the Dodgers took a little while to get going, but it is what it is. And then the Rockies, their pitching eventually does come back to bite them, but they've been sticking around. They've lost 4 in a row, but they can come back. They're a streaky team, and they when they play in that ballpark, they get a bunch of They usually get a bunch of wins up there a mile high. So don't worry about them, as they'll be around. The Giants, I'm not quite ready to call it on them. I'll probably call it on them when they're 7 games back at the end of August, but they can't afford to lose 3 games in a row. They can't. They have their 3 games. There are 3 teams ahead of them. They need to play well, and they need help So it's just not pointing the right way. The trend arrow is going the wrong way for the Giants, and they're going to be put to bed pretty soon, I think, and then it'll be Niners country out in the Bay Area. All right, that'll wrap it up for this segment. We'll come back after the break and cover the games for the weekend, as we'll go over Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then we'll send you off for a good weekend of baseball and come back Monday to talk some more about it. So everybody stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Want to know the latest in soccer? Then listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast. From MLS, the World Cup, and the Premier League, we've got you covered. The latest updates, the hottest matches, and news on the league's top players. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Soccer Podcast.
David Beckham scores the goal to take England all the way to the World Cup finals.
Listen now.
All right, welcome back to GSMC Baseball Podcast on a Friday here today. Just going to cover the games for the weekend and send you guys off here. As we'll start off in San Francisco, the Pirates and Giants continue their series out there at AT&T Park. It'll be Derek Holland going against the Pirates right-hander. This is Clay Holmes as he makes a start there against Derek Holland. In the Nationals and Cubs, it'll be Jeremy Hellickson against Kyle Hendricks from Chicago as they start a series off. That'll be a good one, Nationals-Cubs. Red Sox and Orioles as the Red Sox look to continue to win against the weak opponents there in the American League East. It'll be Nathan Eovaldi against Dylan Bundy, a pretty good matchup there at Camden Yards in Baltimore. The Rangers and Yankees continue their series from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It'll be Mike Minor against Masahiro Tanaka. The Rays and Blue Jays get a series started as they will play a little division matchup. It'll be in Rogers Center in Toronto. Blake Snell against Marco Estrada. The Dbacks and Reds get going in Cincinnati. It'll be Clay Buchholz against Anthony DeSclafani from Great American Ballpark there in Cincinnati. Twins and Tigers and American League Central tilt as it'll be in Detroit at Comerica Park. Irvin Santana against Jordan Zimmerman. In the Marlins Park, the Mets and the Marlins, it'll be Zach Wheeler against Julio Urena. Is that right? Jose Urena. I'm like, his name's not Julio. Jose Urena, sorry. And the Brewers and Braves get a series started in Atlanta. It'll be Freddie Peralta against Jacob Gausman, making his second start there for the Braves since the trade. Indians and White Sox from Guaranteed Rate Field in Chicago. It'll be Shane Bieber against Carlos Rodon. In Houston, the Mariners and Astros continue off as they will be Mike Leake against Garrett Cole there in Houston. Cardinals and Royals, the Battle of Missouri will get going. It'll be in Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. It'll be a pair of guys that have not pitched that much. Austin Gomber, a left-hander for the Cardinals against the Rangers, Royals. I keep saying the wrong. Rays, Rangers, Royals. Which team do I have here? The Royals. Birch Smith will start for them on Friday. Dodgers and Rockies from Colorado will be Kenta Maeda against John Gray. A's and Angels from Anaheim. It'll be Brett Anderson against the Angels starter will be Felix Pena, right-hander. And then Phillies and Padres from Petco Park. Zach Eflin against a guy making his first start of the year. It's his Major League debut. Jacob Nix will get started. I'm not sure if this is his Major League debut or if he's pitched, if this is actually his Major League debut. I don't see any. Yeah, this is his Major League debut. Jacob Nix making his start there for the Padres there. So this is actually a good weekend. We got some definitely some interdivision series going on here. A bunch of them actually. And then also some good matchups across divisions, like Pirates, Giants. I mean, you got Cubs, Nationals, Diamondbacks, Reds. A couple of them. I mean, the Reds aren't the best team, but they're trending a little bit better. And then Brewers, Braves, definitely a big one to pay attention to. Two teams trying to make the playoffs, hard push to the playoffs right now in the National League. To Saturday we go. Giants Pirates again. It'll be Giants actually do not have a starter announced for Saturday yet, which is kind of surprising. I'm trying to imagine who they would start because Derek Holland. I'm trying to think here. Who is it going to be? Because yesterday was Suarez, then Holland. Bumgarner pitched on Tuesday. Isn't it Derek Rodriguez? Or is he on Sunday? Derek Rodriguez on Sunday. So it'll have to be somebody like a Chris Stratton maybe making a start for the Giants coming up from AAA, because obviously they still have a lot of issues with the rotation and with Johnny Cueto's done, Samardzija not pitching, not doing much, and you got Derek Holland in there with a couple of rookies and Madison Bumgarner, and that's about it. I mean, Chris Stratton. We'll see if he comes up, make a start tomorrow. Red Sox and Orioles will play a doubleheader at Camden Yards. Orioles have got a couple doubleheaders coming up. They have one against the Yankees in a couple weeks as well, or next weekend. Red Sox Orioles. It will be David Price tomorrow against a starter to be determined, and then neither team has announced the starters for the second game on Saturday. So we'll get you that. You'll find that out as your own, and we'll talk about it on Monday, I guess. And then Rangers Yankees. It'll be Lance Lynn for the Rangers. For the Yankees against Drew Hutchinson for the Rangers there in the Yankee Stadium. Nationals Cubs, Tanner Roark against John Lester from Wrigley Field. Rays and Blue Jays. The Rays have not announced a starter yet, but it'll probably be one of their openers as they only have one starter. Blake Snell is their only starter. Everybody else is an opener. As it'll be Sam Gaviglio for the Rays. For the Jays, Blue Jays there in Toronto. Twins and Tigers, Kyle Gibson for the Twins, Francisco Liriano for the Tigers. Reds and Dbacks from Cincinnati, it'll be Robbie Ray for the Dbacks against Matt Harvey for the Reds. Have not been traded yet, Matt Harvey. Interesting. Indians and White Sox, Trevor Bauer against James Shields. Brewers and Braves again, Wade Miley for the Brewers against Julio Teheran for the Braves. This series, this is the one I'm paying attention to the most because it's just two good teams going against each other. They're not in the same division, so not much implications there, but definitely in the wild card for sure. Both these teams not leading their divisions right now, but battling it out in the wild card race. Mets and Marlins from Marlins Park. It'll be Dan Straley for the Marlins against the Mets right-hander Corey Oswalt. Mariners and Astros from Houston. Wade LeBlanc against Charlie Morton. Cardinals and Royals. Jack Flaherty against Danny Duffy. Dodgers and Royals on Saturday. Walker Buehler against Kyle Freeland. And then Phillies and Padres will be Aaron Nola making a start for the Phillies against the Padres right-hander Walker Lockett making a start there for the Padres. And then Angels and A's, Edwin Jackson. They have Felix Pena listed again. I don't know why. He was on Saturday. I don't know why he's pitching again today on Saturday. So maybe are they doing an opener situation again as well? I mean, I don't think so. We'll find that out as it goes along tomorrow. So maybe just a misprint there on my reports. All right, Sunday though, that was it for Saturday. Sunday, Giants Pirates again. It'll be Joe Musgrove against there it is, Derek Rodriguez on Sunday. So yeah, I'm thinking Chris Stratton tomorrow for the Giants, or maybe they pull somebody else up, but maybe a Tyler Beatty or somebody like that for the Giants making a start for San Francisco. As I'm trying to think, like, what have they been doing the last week? I mean, Samardzija hasn't pitched in a while. They had Stratton did pitch last week, so maybe that's what it is. All right, Red Sox, Orioles, Chris Sale for the Red Sox against a starter to be determined for the Orioles. Yankees, Rangers, it'll be Martin Perez against CC Sabathia. Rays, again, do not have a starter. You'd think that they would have a starter. They don't want to have one for Saturday. They don't have one for Sunday either because it's usually an opener, and they'll be Marcus Stroman for the Blue Jays. D-backs and Reds, it'll be Zach Godley against Luis Castillo. Twins and Tigers, Matthew Boyd for the Tigers. Twins have not announced a starter yet for Sunday. Mets and Marlins, Noah Syndergaard against Wei Yin Chen. Brewers and Braves, it'll be Chase Anderson against Sean Newcomb. Indians and White Sox, Carlos Carrasco against Dylan Covey. Mariners have not announced a starter yet against the Astros for their finale of the series on Sunday, but they'll face Dallas Keuchel on the other side there. Cardinals and Royals will be Luke Weaver against Jacob Junis. Dodgers and Rockies, the Dodgers have not announced a starter yet for Sunday either. It'll be Chad Bettis, though, for the Rockies on Sunday. Phillies and Pirates, Jake Arrieta against Joey Lucchesi. Angels and Athletics, it'll be Trevor Cahill against the starter to be determined for the Angels. I don't know who they're starting on tomorrow either, because I think Felix Pena is pitching today. And unless he's an opener, he's going to go back-to-back days. I don't know. And then the Sunday night game on ESPN on Sunday Night Baseball is a good one. Nationals and Cubs from Wrigley Field. It'll be Max Scherzer against Cole Hamels. So definitely tune in for that one. That'll be a good one there from Wrigley Field on the north side of Chicago. All right, that'll wrap it up for the show today, as we'll come back on Monday and talk to you about the games that is covered or previewed for you, and then also we'll see if there's any implications. I know there's the big series going on this weekend in the American League West, Mariners Astros. We'll see if, and then also the A's playing the Angels. We'll see if there's any movement come Monday, and we'll talk about it for sure. So everybody have a good one. Talk to you later on Monday. Have a good watch some baseball. Go do whatever you need to do this weekend, but watch some baseball for sure. And we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Baseball Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. From movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.